It's 3 in the morning. You're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and your brain refuses to shut up. You replay the same thought loop again and again. You make decent money. You're not reckless. You save when you can. You even invest. So why does it still feel like you're behind? Your phone is face down on the nightstand, but you already know what's on it. A brokerage app, a credit card balance, a retirement account that looks impressive until you zoom out and imagine 30 years from now. This is the part nobody talks about. The quiet anxiety that shows up when there's nothing left to distract you. Because deep down, you sense something is wrong. Not with your effort, not with your intelligence, but with the order you've been told to follow. My name is Max, and I spend way too much time looking at the invisible strings corporations, institutions, and even well-meaning advice pull to turn us from owners into consumers who feel productive while staying financially fragile. Most people aren't bad with money. They're just following a sequence that was never designed to make them wealthy. And once you see that sequence clearly, you can't unsee it. So before we go any further, here's the deal. If you actually want the truth, not motivation, not hype, not stock tips, but the cold, mechanical order that determines who builds wealth and who stays stuck, subscribe. Because once you understand this sequence, every financial decision you make starts fitting together. Here's the standard lie most people believe, that wealth building is linear. That if you just save a little, invest a little, and repeat long enough, everything magically works out. That it doesn't really matter when you do things, as long as you do them eventually. Wrong. Dead wrong. Wealth is path-dependent. The order matters more than the amount. Getting the sequence wrong doesn't slow you down, it cancels progress. Let's talk math. Most people think their first $100,000 is only 1/10 of a million. That's emotionally true, but mathematically false. Because of compounding, the first 100,000 is closer to 1/3 of the journey to a million in time, not dollars. This is why early mistakes are devastating. Debt, taxes, and bad sequencing don't just cost money. They steal time. And time is the one variable you can never replace. This is also where something called sequence of returns risk quietly destroys people. If you're leaking money early, through interest, taxes, or forced selling, compounding never gets a chance to build momentum. You're not falling behind slowly, you're kneecapping the most powerful years of growth. So why does this keep happening? Because the real enemy isn't bad investments. It's psychology. Parkinson's law explains it perfectly. Expenses expand to match income. Every raise feels like progress, but within months it quietly becomes your new baseline. A better apartment, a nicer car, more subscriptions, more convenience. You're not richer, you're just running faster on the same treadmill. This is why the smartest investors don't start with stocks. They start with insulation. Before you invest a single dollar, you need an emergency fund. Not because emergencies are rare, but because they're guaranteed. An emergency fund isn't about money, it's about control. Without it, every surprise forces you to sell investments at the worst possible moment or rack up high-interest debt. With it, life becomes an inconvenience instead of a crisis. Start small, $1,000, then 1 month of expenses, then 3. You don't need perfection. You need separation between chaos and your investments. Once that buffer exists, the next step is unavoidable. High-interest debt has to go. Credit cards charging 20% or more are not neutral. They are compounding against you faster than almost any investment can compound for you. Carrying that debt while investing is like trying to climb a mountain with weights strapped to your legs. Paying off high-interest debt isn't conservative, it's mathematical. Every dollar used to eliminate a 22% interest rate is a guaranteed 22% return. After taxes. After risk. If you have $5,000 in credit card debt at 22% and make minimum payments, you don't just lose money, you lose years. Years where compounding could have been working quietly in your favor. Now comes the first exception. Employer matching. If your employer offers a retirement match, you contribute enough to get it, even if you still have some debt. Why? Because a match is an instant return. 50%, 100%, guaranteed. No market volatility, no waiting, no risk. Ignoring a match is voluntarily taking a pay cut. It's money your employer already set aside for you, but only if you claim it. The key is precision. Contribute just enough to capture the full match, then go straight back to attacking debt. This maximizes guaranteed returns while minimizing how long interest works against you. Once debt is gone and the match is secured, we move into the most misunderstood zone of investing: tax optimization. This is where most people mess up because it's boring, invisible, and incredibly powerful. Your next priority is your individual retirement account. An IRA usually comes before adding more to your employer's plan because it gives you control. Lower fees, better investment choices, more transparency. Fees don't feel painful. They don't send notifications. But over decades, they quietly destroy outcomes. A 1% difference in fees can cost you tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. That's money you earned, took risk on, and then handed to fund managers you'll never meet. Once your IRA is funded, we reach what might be the most underrated account in personal finance: the health savings account. An HSA isn't just a medical account. It's a triple tax-advantaged investment vehicle. You get a deduction when you contribute, your money grows tax-free, and withdrawals for medical expenses are tax-free, even in retirement. No other account does this. Used correctly, an HSA becomes a long-term weapon against one of retirement's biggest risks: healthcare costs. And here's the strategy most people miss. If you can afford it, pay current medical expenses out of pocket and let the HSA stay invested. Keep the receipts. There's no deadline on reimbursement. You can pay today, grow the money for decades, and reimburse yourself tax-free later. After your IRA and HSA are maxed, you return to your employer plan and fully fund it. At this point, you're sheltering massive amounts of income from taxes. Compounding finally gets to work without interference. Only after all of this, and not one step sooner, do we reach taxable investing. This is the part everyone wants to start with: stocks, ETFs, crypto, flexibility, freedom. And yes, taxable accounts are powerful, but they come with drag. Every dividend is taxed. Every sale invites the IRS to take a cut. It's like running a race with sand in your shoes. That doesn't make taxable accounts bad. It makes them last. Once everything else is optimized, taxable accounts become bridges. Early retirement funding, down payments, legacy planning, flexibility that retirement accounts don't offer. Here's the part that surprises most people. very few ever get this far. The average saver never maxes an IRA. Many don't even capture their employer match consistently. Which means if you work through this entire sequence, you're already operating in rare air. And the beauty of this order is that every step reinforces the next. The emergency fund protects your investments. Debt elimination stops the bleeding. Employer matching gives instant momentum. Tax-advantaged accounts let compounding work without interference. Nothing flashy, nothing viral, just math. And the math doesn't lie. Start today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Because 30 years from now, you don't want to be lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering what could have been. You want proof that you played the game correctly.